Hey guys, Josh Hatcher here for manlyhood.com. So glad you're joining us for our awesome web series entitled More Than a Mustache, What It Means to Be a Man. At manlyhood.com, we're all about entertaining, engaging, and equipping men. I guess some of this stuff here is a matter of equipping. I think that there are things about manhood that we need to learn from each other, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Feel free to hop on and leave a comment. Go on our Facebook page, start a discussion about it. We'd love to be able to discuss these things, talk about them, and make ourselves better versions of the men that we're supposed to be. That being said, guys, our series last week, we learned about responsibility. If it is to be, it's up to me. This week, we're going to learn about independence and resiliency. And again, I told you, I came up with this list of topics, and we had a great discussion. I had a great discussion with my 14-year-old son. And I said, what does it mean to be a man? And he said, well, you don't care what people think. And he says, well, you do care what people think, but and we kind of wrestled with what that meant. And I think what we kind of came up with is independence and resiliency. That is a mark of a man. And when I say independence, you don't require people's permission to be yourself. You don't require people's permission to do the things you're supposed to do. You just do them. And, I'll be honest, I'm saying this stuff as though I'm a perfect example of a man, and I'll be honest with you, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, so I don't want you to think that I'm tossing all this stuff out here, having it all figured out. But I'm tossing it out here saying, yeah, these are the marks of what a man should be and what we should all strive to be, even if we struggle in the process of getting there. But that's what I'm saying, guys, is we're independent. We don't need to rely on the government. We don't need to rely on our parents. We don't need to rely on the community or the assistance office or anything else for that matter to take care of our needs. We're just going to say, we're going to do it. And we don't need people's permission to do the things that we should be doing anyway. That being said, the other thing is resiliency, and that is where we're going to choose to not react to the things that people say. I know when we're kids, they told you, well, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. The truth is, even for the toughest manly man, sometimes words do hurt, and they can hurt, okay? The key is not, do we hurt when somebody says something to us that they shouldn't say or when somebody hurts our feelings? The key is, how do we respond? Do we respond with resilience? So we say, whew, you know what? I'm going to bounce back and it's not going to get me down. See, that's what we should do. That's what a real man does. A real man says, you know what? I know that you think I look like a dork, but I really don't care. A real man says, I know that you think that I didn't do a good job with this, but I know that I put everything in it. I put my heart and soul, and I did the best I could, and I worked to make it happen. And maybe it's not as good as it could be, but I've done the best that I could. So I don't feel like your criticism means anything to me. And maybe you don't even say it out loud. Sometimes it's just something you know. You know that you're a man. You know that you have done a good job. You know that that the words that they're uttering towards you aren't true, and you're not going to let them tear you up inside or outside, for that matter. You take them and you let them slide off. You know what? And I'll say this at the same time: a real man is also responsible. We talked about that last week. So when somebody gives you a criticism, you're able to say, there's a little bit of truth in that, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to learn from that, because I really do believe that every piece of criticism has some truth in it, or at least most criticism has some truth in it. So look at that and take it from that perspective. Let's just say what a real man is a real man is going to say, I'm independent. I can do it. And that doesn't mean that he doesn't have friends, that he doesn't have people he can call. A real man can still live in community and still be independent. He recognizes his responsibility to make a difference in the world, and his responsibility to do his job and do his tasks and do the things that a man is responsible to do. And he does them independently. He does them without having to have a boss standing over him. Here's an example. A 14-year-old will say, well, I didn't sweep the floor because you didn't tell me to. A man, the difference between a boy and a man will sweep the floor because it needs to be swept. And, I guess while that is responsibility, it's still part of that concept. I don't care what they tell me to do. I'm going to do what needs to be done because it's the right thing to do. And at the same time, if they criticize me, I'm knowing that I'm doing the right thing so it doesn't matter. So that's, guys, the second mark, I guess, of a man that is more than a mustache. What makes you a man is that this man is resilient and he's independent. We've got more great items lined up to talk about in our series called More Than a Mustache, What Makes a Man. So keep coming back here to manlyhood.com.